name is Emily Wallace, and I am an author of a book called Scarred for Life. And when I say Scarred for Life, I mean scarred for life. And I'm here today to talk about that book. And I'm also here today to talk about a child being abused. One child being abused is too much. It's over 2 million. 2 million reports are being made to the Child Protective Service nationwide every year. A child is being abused every minute, every hour, every second, just as well as a child is being born into this world. Silence is not the answer when it comes to abuse. I want you guys to know to never, ever, ever be afraid to speak out. I want you guys to know to never, never when somebody abuses you, never think it's your fault. Never think that it's something that you did to deserve this. Never think that you caused, because you did. Never be afraid to go to authorities. And when I say authorities, you can go to the police, you can go to a teacher, you can go to Child Protective Service, you can even go to a friend to get help. Because abuse is something serious. Abuse is something that you cannot deal with alone. You cannot keep it under the closet. You cannot keep it under the rug. You have to let it out. You have to speak out and you have to tell. Because you may hold it in too long and it may be too late. Because that person that abused you may decide to do something stupid. They already did something stupid, but they may want to do something stupider. So you have to go to authorities and you have to speak out. If you know somebody that's being bullied by anybody, I don't care who it is, go to authorities. The reason why I say go to authorities, because if you bullying somebody, that is abuse also. So you need to go to authorities to try to get that other person help. Speak out. Never forget to speak out. Because abuse is nothing to play with. Abuse hurts. It hurts on the outside and it hurts in the inside. And you cannot deal with abuse alone. And I repeat myself over and over and over and over because I want you guys to put it up here. I want you guys to put it up here and to know what I'm saying. Now I want you guys to bear with me. I want you guys to sit back and close your eyes just for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Can you imagine? Imagine at the age of 11 years old, coming home from school, finding out that your mother and all your sisters and brothers have left you intentionally. That was me. About 5 minutes later, my mother's boyfriend came up the street. And I said to him, where is my mother? And he said, Emily, I was told not to tell you where they moved to. And I looked at him eye to eye and I said, why? He hunched his shoulders and went on by his bed. I sat down on them steps and I cried and I cried and I was so afraid and I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I said, God, please send my mother back to come and get me. I said, what have I done to deserve this? I said, whatever I've done, I will never do it again. Mama, please come back and get me. That's why I'm telling you guys this today. if you got somebody that loves you, if you got somebody that cares about you, if you got somebody that's supporting you, telling you, go ahead, you can do this. If you got somebody saying you can get your education, it's never too late to get your education. If you got somebody that cares, respect that. Because I want all kids to know Mrs. Wallace did not have that at the age of 11 years old. Mrs. Wallace was afraid to speak out. And I want you guys to know to never be afraid to speak out with abuse. If you feel that somebody is abusing you, neglecting you, go to authority. Speak out. Also, be cautious. And the reason why I say you guys got to be cautious, you have to think before you do. Because if you don't think before you do, it's a lot of dangerous people out here. And it's a lot of dangerous people that want to hurt nothing but kids. They are psycho. Something is wrong with their brain. So you have to be cautious. You have to think. Now let me tell y'all a little something that happened to me while I was on those streets. I wasn't cautious on something that I did. And I paid for it because I wasn't cautious. I was walking down Woodward in Detroit, going towards downtown, not knowing where I'm going. I'm just walking because I don't have nowhere to go. And I run across my sister's friend. She was like about 13 years old, finna turn 14. And I was 11 years old. And she got to asking me, where's my sister at? And then I got to telling her about my mother and all my sisters and brothers leaving me, abandoning me, abusing me. I mean, I got to telling her everything. I got to spilling the beans to her, just telling her all about my life story, what happened to me. And I was hoping and praying to myself, saying, maybe she'll take me home with her where her mother can help me. Maybe her mother can feed me. Maybe she can give me a place to stay. And I'm saying all this to myself. And maybe, just maybe she can let me wear some of her clothes because I had on the same clothes for 2.5 to 3 weeks. And I was smelling like, you know, I was smelling so bad, you could have smelled me 10 blocks down. So I was really hoping that she would take me home with her where I can get a bath, where I can get a meal. But she didn't do that. No, she didn't do that. About 5 minutes later, a car came up. We at the bus stop. I'm still talking to her, telling her everything. And she stopped talking to me and went over by that car. And I could not see whether that car was black or blue. All I know it was a dark color because I didn't have my glasses. And see, I can hear her talking to that man because it was a man's voice that I heard. And I could hear her saying this and saying that, but I couldn't hear it clearly. And about 2 seconds later, she came up and said, come on, Emily, let's go. And I said, where we going? And she said, well, we're going for a ride. Come on. I've been knowing him for like about maybe 3 months to 3 weeks. And I didn't catch that she said 3 months to 3 weeks until later. I was not cautious. Because if I would have been cautious and not got in that car, I wouldn't get what I got. And when I got in that car, boy, I thought I was going to get me something to eat, and I was going to have me a bath. At the end of the day, whatever she was talking about with this man, I just knew that later on down the road, on the